My name is Dr. Mohammad Nazim, faculty in the Department of Library and Information Science, Aligarh Muslim University. In the previous lecture, we were discussing about the derived indexing, particularly title-based indexing systems. We have discussed in detail the concept of the derived indexing, and we have discussed the features, limitations of title-based indexing systems. Now in this lecture, we are going to start the keyword in context and keyword out of context. That is two important indexing systems which come under the purview of title-based indexing systems. So by the end of this lecture, learners will be able to define the concept and structures of keyword in context indexing systems and keyword out of context indexing systems. They will be able to explain the origin, principles, and working mechanism of both indexing methods. Will be able to differentiate between keyword in context and keyword out of context indexing based on structure, display, and uses. They will be able to apply keyword in context and keyword out of context indexing techniques to the document titles with examples. And they will be able to analyze how keywords are originated in keyword in context and keyword out of context indexing systems. And in the end, they will be able to evaluate the advantage and limitation of both indexing systems. So, keyword and catchword indexing basically used in the bibliographic tools and periodicals. Periodicals means the indexing and abstracting periodicals, where in addition to the main entry, that is the main entry provide the bibliographic detail and a brief summary of the article. Also provide a few kinds of indexes. And these indexes may be the author index, maybe the title index, maybe the keyword index, or maybe the subject index, so that multiple access points can be provided to the users to identify relevant article in the indexing and abstracting periodical. And when we talk about the bibliography also provide a complete entry of the book, like the bibliographic details and like the feature of the book. But for finding or identifying a specific book by the name of author, by the title, by the subject, additional indexes are also included in the bibliographies. So these catchword indexing and keyword indexing were used in bibliographical tools like bibliographies, indexing journals, and abstracting journals. And editors basically manually select the significant words from the titles, and titles rearrange to bring keyword forward. For example, indexes of journals like Nature. So we can say the process of keyword indexing, particularly known as catchword indexing, was done manually for compiling particularly the title and subject index of the bibliographies and abstracting and indexing periodicals. But with the computerization and introduction of the computer, these kinds of catchword indexing has been dropped, and keyword in context indexing system was evolved from this method. And keyword in context evolved from catchword indexing. The difference is that catchword indexing system, words were selected manually, but in keyword in context indexing system, the keywords are generated automatically using the computer. So this keyword in context indexing technique was developed by H.P. Loon to generate title indexes In this particular system or techniques, the terms are taken directly from the document title. And keyword in context is a special form of keyword or catchword indexing designed for computer-based indexing, and it became popular for automatic index generation. The entry in the preparation of keyword index, that is the access point or entry point, is made under the significant word. What we can say, suppose this is the title, and in a title A, B, C, D, 4 words are used in the title. For example, classification of manuscript in university libraries in India. So these 4 words, that is classification, manuscripts, and university libraries, India. So these 4 words are used in the title. So we need to find each word as an entry point. Maybe this, maybe this, maybe this, maybe this. And the context can be added to each keyword. That is, then it is called keyword in context. So entry in preparing a keyword index, the access point or entry point is made under significant keywords or catchword only without establishing context. This is the process in the catchword indexing system. But to overcome this major problem, H.P. Loon of IBM introduced this keyword in context indexing system, where each significant word can become an entry point. But instead of appearing significant word at the left hand side of the page, it appears in the middle. Suppose there are a few words here, a few words here, and in between, in middle, the significant keyword can be listed, and both the side, the words are listed to just show the context in which this particular significant keyword is used. So this is called, that is why the name is keyword in context. Keyword in context means that a significant word can be put it at the middle, and the rest of the words can be put at either side to just show the relationship and context of the significant word. So what is the basic principle of this indexing system? Significant word in the title indicate the subject of the document. So you can select all the significant word from the title, and each significant word can become an access point. For example, we have taken 4 words as mentioned in the previous slide, A, B, C, D. So these four words can become the access point or entry point. We can prepare the entry by using these 4 words. But with each entry, the remaining words may also be used to represent the context of the significant word. So each significant word can become an access point. Full title is retained to preserve the context, and keyword appears in the center, that is in the middle, and provide contextual meaning, not just isolated term, and it ensure multiple access point for retrieval, not only from the single word. All the words which are used in the title can be used as the access point for the purpose of searching. So quick indexing is a type of derived indexing, that is no doubt. We have already discussed in detail about this, and terms are taken directly from the document titles because it is totally dependent on the titles. Other part of the document is consulted for extracting the keyword for the purpose of indexing in the quick indexing system developed by H.P. Loon, and we have already discussed it become popular for the purpose of automatic index generation. The another important thing is the stop word in the keyword in context indexing system. It means if we are doing the manual indexing system like in catchword indexing, the editor and the indexer select the significant word. But in case of computer do not know which word is significant and which word is not significant in the title. So we need to tell the computer to understand which is the word which can be considered as a significant word and which word cannot be considered as a significant word. So construction of a list of words which are not of value for indexing purposes is called stop list. So we need to do the programming in the computer. A few words can be considered as a stop word and they may not be relevant. So a computer programmed predefined list of non-significant words which are used to eliminate unwanted entries and improve indexing quality. So every word cannot be considered, every word which appeared in the title cannot be considered as a significant keywords for the purpose of indexing. So what we can do the programming in the system and we can provide a list of the words which cannot be considered as a significant keywords for the purpose of indexing. So what kinds of words may be considered as a stop word? They may be a and the, that is the articles. They may be preposition, that is in, on, off, and they may be conjunction, that is joining words, that is and, or. We can see the example with the stop word. For example, we can take the title, the use of computer in libraries. In this particular case, we can remove this in and we can consider use computer libraries as the significant words, and we can generate different entries using keyword indexing system. The first entry that is computer, then use and libraries, computer libraries and libraries. So multiple entries can be prepared by using different terms. Now, what are the important features of the keyword in context indexing? This is automatic index generation techniques where there is no need of human involvement and the terms can be extracted directly from the title. Non-significant words can be removed by using the programming stop list in the system, and the significant word or keywords that is appeared in the title exactly taken without any kinds of modification. So that is, by doing this, we can say that it uses the natural language instead of controlled vocabulary to language. Display context of the keyword. This is a very important feature because we have already mentioned that each significant word keyword can be appear in the middle and rest of the words in the title can be appeared left and right side or even on the one side only to just show the context in which that particular significant word is used. It is suitable for computer processing. And modern use of KWIC, if we try to see where these keyword in context indexing is used, it is used in search engines, it is used in thesaurus rotated index if we try to just compile the rotated index of the thesaurus, and it is used in the digital databases, online databases, digital libraries. So what is the structure of keyword in context entry? So each KWIC entry has three parts. The number one keywords, number two context, number three the identification code. So these are the three important parts of each keyword in context entry. So in the keyword, we need to find the significant word that can be considered as a access point. Then what we need to do, the context, that is the remaining words can show the context in which a significant word is used, and that is the maintaining the meaning of the title and the word, that is the context. And a location code can also be assigned so that the particular entry can easily be found. So we can also use the special notation that is slash, which is used to indicate end of the title. An identification code is placed at the right side, so you can see the structure of the entry of the KWIC indexing system. The title is classification of book in a university library. This is the title, and on the basis of the analysis of the title, we can extract the significant word, that is classification books university library, and the code is basically this 1279. So this is the example of the entry, that is classification is the keyword and the context is maintained here, and this is the code. This is the sample entry of the KWIC sample entry. So what is the process of keyword in context indexing system? The keyword in context indexing involve three important steps when we try to do the indexing. that is the selection of keywords, generation of the entries, and filing of the entries. So we will briefly discuss each stage or each step. The number one is selection of words. We need to select the significant word from the titles or omitting non-significant words like articles, prepositions, and conjunction. And this can be done by the human, by the computer. Okay, that is it is easy to do by the computer, and it also be done manually by the use of human environment. And the another important thing is we need to use the concept of stop list for removing the non-significant word from the list of the words that are selected for the entry of the index entry purposes. The next step is the generation of entries. So title is rotated. Basically, each keyword appears at left side or at the center. So both the format can be used. In some cases, you will find that a significant word is appeared at the left side. In some cases, in some indexes, the significant word appeared at the middle. So each rotation creates a new entry. So we just take an example. We have the keyword classification book university library. So we can generate different entries. Number one, classification of books in university library. So classification is the significant word, and rest of the title is appeared here. Then we have books in university libraries. The rest title is there. It means the slash showing that here the title is basically completed. When university library become the significant word, then classification book in, and then library classification of books in. The code will remain the same because you will find the complete entry at one place only, that is 1279. Now the third step is the filing. All entries are arranged in alphabetical order. For example, book, then classification, then library, then university. And there may be an alternative centered quick format that is also shown here. Keyword may be appeared in the center. For example, classification of books in university library. So book is the first keyword that is put in the center, and the rest of the words are put at both the side. Then classification is become another significant keywords, and the rest of the words are put at either side. And then in the third keywords, that is library, is put at the center, and the rest of the words are put at both the sides. So we can choose middle format as well as left side format. Middle, that is center quick format, means the significant word may be put in the middle, and if we are using left side format, then we can put the significant word at the left side, and remaining words of the titles can be put at the right side. So you can see the rotation of keywords in this particular graph image. The original title is classification of books in university library. The step 1, that is the identification of the keywords. After removing stop word, we have the four keywords, that is classification, book, university, and library. And step 2 is the rotation of the titles in quick entries. So we are here classification of books in university library, then books in university library, that is classification of, then university library, then slash classification of books in, and library classification of books in university. So 4 entries are generated, and then alphabetical listing. So we can arrange it in the alphabetical order in the index, and we give the number, that is the code, for easily locating that entry in the main part of the bibliography and in the indexing periodical, or in case of databases, automatically we link to that particular document in case of digital document. So what are the advantages of keyword in context indexing? It is simple and economical. It is fast, where the processing can be done by using computers. It provides the context, that is for the better understanding of the subject, and we can easily understand whether this particular title or entry is useful for our need or not. And there is no need of subject expertise for the compilation of this kinds of index, because everything can be possible by the use of computer. But there are certain limitation of the keyword in context indexing. It cannot identify importance of keywords because it is totally relied on the computer, and the computer can extract all the keywords from the title, and only those titles can be removed where there is a programming of stop list. It depends on the quality of the titles, because sometimes titles may not be informative. If titles are not representative to the thought content of the document, they'll ultimately this kinds of indexing system could not work well and not able to retrieve that document. It may produce irrelevant entries because sometimes some keywords may not be very relevant, but we have, because computer generate the entries for all the keywords which are selected or extracted from the title, and it require effective stop list, and that is very difficult task. If you are just including a large number of keywords in the stop list, then sometimes important words can be removed at the time of selection of the keywords from the title. And if you are putting a limited number of keywords in the stop list or words in the stop list, sometimes the more irrelevant words can be considered for the purpose of indexing or selecting the significant words. So these kinds of problems are there, and there are some advantages and disadvantages, but it is very important to understand that no system is perfect. Even we can use any kind of system, there are certain challenges, some benefits, and some limitation of each kind of system. So with this, we are going to start another important kinds of indexing system, which is also depends on the titles, words of the titles. This is called keyword out of context. So keyword out of context is a type of derived indexing which is also based on the title word indexing principles, and keyword is placed at the beginning, that is the left side, followed by the complete title. Unlike keyword in context, there is no system of rotation of context, and it provides a familiar alphabetical arrangement. This is a slightly different. We can just try to understand the basic principle of keyword out of context indexing system. Title basically represent document content, and this is the basic principle. We try to assume it that the title of the document is representative to the thought content of the subject of the document. But this is not always true. Some of the titles may be misleading, and some of the title may be vague, which may not represent the actual content of the document. So significant words are used as access point, and each keyword generate separate entry. So the number of entries depends on number of keywords which are selected from the title of the document. So when we talk about the structure of the keyword out of context entry, each entry consists of a keyword which is called lead term, then full title which is unchanged, and identification. So this is very simple basically. Suppose we have selected 4 keywords from the titles, there will be 4 entry. One keywords become the lead term, and the complete title will be given, and an identification code will be provided. So you can just try to see the example of keyword out of context entry. The title is classification of books in university library. So you can see the entries classification, where classification of books in a university library, and then the code is given. So as such, the title is provided in the first entry. When we try to see another entry by book, another important word which is appeared in the title, and but the rest of the title is given. Okay, so 4 entries, classification, books, university, library, and we put it the rest of the title along with the keywords. So the context is even not there, but the complete title is there. So this is a slight difference between the KWIC and KWOC indexing system. And what is the process of generating keyword out of context indexing, which involves the same process, that selection of keywords, preparation of the entries, and then filing, that is alphabetical filing. So the first thing is that we need to select significant word from the title, remove non-significant words like articles, prepositions, and conjunctions, and then we need to generate the entries by each keywords, which become the entry point at the left side, and the rest of the title may be provided along with the keywords. And full title is repeated for each keyword. And then all the entries will be filed in alphabetical order. So there are some features like keyword at left side, full title written at the right side. It is a simple structure, easy to do by anyone. No expertise is required for preparing the entries using keyword out of context indexing system. And it is very much familiar because it is just like indexing appearance. There are many advantages, easy to understand and use, clear alphabetical access, maintains full title meaning, useful for printed indexes. But the limitation does not group related word combination effectively, may miss relationship between terms, may be a low recall, and depends on author's terminology, that is also in case of keyword in context, and cannot handle synonymous automatically because we are not using controlled vocabulary tools for the standardization of the keyword. The keyword which are appear in the title are used as such for the purpose of indexing. That is why there is some sort of limitation in terms of searching and effective retrieval process. So a brief overview of the comparison between KWIC and KWOC indexing system. If we talk about the structure, keyword appears within the full title context in case of keyword in context indexing, but keyword is separated from the title context in case of keyword out of context. As far as display is concerned, title is rotated, so each keyword appear in the context, but in case of keyword out of context indexing system, keyword listed alphabetically followed by full title. In the context of visibility, it is high visible, the keyword in context indexing entries, meaning it is clear from surrounding words. But there is a limitation in case of keyword out of context because context not immediately visible. When we talk about the arrangement in both kinds of indexing entries, permuted entries, that is multiple entries per title, but in this case single entry under each keyword. It is easy to use. In case of ease of use, keyword indexing system slightly complex due to multiple entries, but keyword out of context is simple and user friendly. As far as the uses is concerned, useful for a detailed subject and understanding, but in case of keyword out of context, it is useful for quick lookup and scanning. So this is a brief overview through the image. That is, the document title is information retrieval system in libraries. In case of KWIC method, this is the rotation, and in case of KWOC method, keyword first, we can say retrieval, information retrieval system, information retrieval system, libraries, information retrieval system. So the complete title is retained and the keywords are appeared at the left. Full title is preserved, simple structure, but grouping of terms is weak in case of KWOC. But in this case, the keyword is provided and rotated and the context is preserved. The relationship is also visible, but this system is less familiar as far as the format is concerned, difficult to compile in relation to the keyword out of context method. So now this is the time to conclude. Both keyword in context and keyword out of context are the derived indexing system techniques which are based on the titles of the document. They are useful for quick access and retrieval in large collection. KWIC indexing is based on the title as content principle. The entries, multiple entries are generated with full context of the keyword, each keyword. It combines simplicity, automation is still useful in the modern information retrieval, especially for quick scanning of document titles. KWIC is also simple keyword indexing method. It displays keywords separately from the context in a clear and familiar format. It is easy to understand but limited in handling relationship and synonyms. So we have discussed two different title-based indexing system, that is keyword in context and keyword out of context. And these two systems are important because by using the computer, the entries can be generated. Today, we are not only relied on the titles of the document, other parts of documents may also be considered for the preparation of KWIC and KWOC entries in any kinds of information retrieval system. So with this, these are the important sources of for further study, for depth study, and almost all the books are related to this particular topic, and you will find the topic in these books. But I will recommend to read three important books. The one is Subject Approach to Information by Foskett, Introduction to Modern Information Retrieval System by Chaudhary, and the third is basically the Chakrabarty and Chakrabarty Indexing Principles, Process and Products. These four books are important that may be considered to find the detail of this topic. With this, thank you very much.